Loki finally premieres this Wednesday, and I got the chance to check out the first 2 episodes early. Thank you so much to Disney for sending that over. I'm a giant MCU fan. I love the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I'm so excited to be here discussing Loki because, flat out, the show's spectacular. Now, do not worry, I will not be getting into any spoilers in this video, but I will be doing a spoiler review the second the episode premieres tonight or Wednesday, whatever time you want to talk about it. Wednesday at midnight PST, I will be premiering that episode. That way you guys can join in right after you guys see the episode, and continuing from there, just like I've done with every other Disney Plus show, Mandalorian, WandaVision, Falcon, Winter Soldier, I'll be doing the exact same thing at midnight every Wednesday when the new episodes premiere. Overall, though, again, like I said, Loki is fantastic. The first 2 episodes absolutely brought me into this world in such a unique and capable way. And one thing that's surprising is I was not excited for the show when it was first announced. When I was at San Diego Comic-Con sitting there and they announced the Loki show, and I'm like, I don't care for a Loki show personally. It's just not my type of, it's not my cup of tea. It's not the thing I really want to see. And it's funny because same with WandaVision, those were the 2 shows that I was like, I don't really care for. Falcon Winter Soldier was the one I was more excited for, and it turns out to be that was my least favorite one, even though I still enjoyed it. I like WandaVision more, and so far, straight off the bat, if Loki continues this pacing with the first 2 episodes, it will be, again, we only have a sample size of 2 other shows, but it will be the best Marvel cinematic shows so far. Even though I think Moon Knight's going to absolutely blow it out of the park, but flat out, I'm quite impressed. You know, the trailers hyped me up. I like the crime thriller vibe they were going for, but also the Twilight Zone vibe that they were adding in there. But something that I really loved about this was, again, it's taking the Marvel Cinematic Universe, twisting it, and going, hey, you think you knew everything in this box of stuff, the superheroes and all sorts of things in the mythology. No, we're going to shake it up, change it completely, and go, no, no, no. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is now opening up in a completely new and utterly brilliant way. Touching on the multiverse, touching on the time stuff, and the TVA in general is one of the most unique things that I've seen yet. And now, I kind of want like a whole separate TVA show, but it looks like Loki is going to be the show that very much touches in on the TVA, as well as being a Loki-centric show. And I think this is kind of the best way for Marvel to bring the TVA into this universe, while at the same time making it a little bit more mainstream for everyone. And by the way that they tied it into Avengers Endgame, of course, I've seen that Loki disappear. It is really interesting. And it's not the show that I expected when they announced it. I expected a show that was like, oh, going to be fun of Loki going here, doing here. Just a fun, entertaining show. While it is a fun and an entertaining show, it's an interesting one. Because the ramifications for stuff that has already appeared and what is being hinted at for the first 2 episodes show me that there's a lot that this is going to tie in. And again, not getting into spoilers, there's a lot to talk about. Every single thing, every single character really has a meaning to it. And everyone just is so ferocious in their performances, especially Tom Hiddleston, which has this, you know, again, we know he's charming. We know he's hilarious. We know he's fantastic as Loki. But the emotional arcs of Loki has always been some of the most unique aspects of it. Now, of course, this is going back and being the Loki from the first Avengers. So he hasn't gone through all of his character arcs yet. But the way that they kind of work around that and place in it opens up a lot of emotional avenues and emotional windows that I didn't expect. This show is actually quite more heartfelt and hitting to a Loki character than I expected, especially within at least the first 2 episodes. The first 2 episodes do such a great job, especially the first one, of establishing what the concept is, explaining the TVA, explaining Loki's purpose kind of in a sense, and going forward from there. And then episode 2, what the show does so well so far is, I think a big common complaint with WandaVision was, I didn't have a complaint with it, but some people did. I like the theorizing every week. Is after episode 1, you have a lot of questions, but you also got answers to what's kind of going on. In a sense, you kind of understand it. Episode 2 opens the doors up, answers a majority of the questions you had in episode 1, but gives you more questions to ponder on for the future of the MCU and the Loki show. Which for me is a unique thing because I never expected that. I wanted that. And for me, again, as an MCU nut and just a Marvel fanatic, and again, yes, I'm a geek as all of this, but I'm going to be a critical basis on this. I love how they did this, and I also like how they did a lot of the exposition. Now, this isn't your typical, again, like WandaVision, not your action set piece, boom, boom, pow. But the intrigue of it all is the thing that really has me touched in and honed into this world. And I've always been a big mythology guy. And if you're someone who loves mythology and world building and stuff, this show is going to be really right up your alley. So far, there hasn't been like that incredible action set piece to really bring you about, but it's the world building and the entertainment that they truly infuse into here with a very smart and witty script from the screenwriter of this, who's also doing Doctor Strange 2 and the Kevin Feige Star Wars film. I'm so interested to see what he does next because, again, point blank, Loki blew me away. It surprised me. It was fantastic. And the way, again, that it opened up the entire world is just something to utterly behold. And I didn't even talk about the cast yet. Owen Wilson is phenomenal. And so is really much the rest of the cast so far that we've been introduced to. Everyone that you've kind of seen in things before, but really bringing in and honing in these characters. Bringing to life the TVA, in a sense, into a new and utterly unexplained, but really much thing that I want the Marvel Cinematic Universe to dive into more and more. I think that's where it kind of just goes down to is Loki is downright brilliant, top to bottom. It's charming, emotional, but also flat out intriguing. Phase 4 of the MCU continues to excel in being different and bringing new layers to a world we already thought we'd understood and new layers to Tom's Loki that I never thought we'd see. Again, I was not excited for this when it was announced. I didn't like the concept. I was like, I'm kind of done with the Loki character. I don't think we need to. It's like you kill someone off in this universe and they come right back. But it proved me wrong. From the trailer, I was intrigued. It really much is filling out that crime thriller drama type aspect, but adding in the Marvel flair and even that sci-fi element of the Twilight Zone and even kind of a little bit of Inception with the kind of stuff that they deal with time. It is fascinating, and I'm so excited to hear your guys' thoughts on this one. As a critic, though, I will say, while I think this show is posing out to be great, I can definitely see where it can falter. There are lots of things in here in the TVA, in a sense, that is, you know, you learn a lot about it, but it's sometimes I had to like kind of go back and rewatch the episode and be like, okay, now I like fully understand, which is a good thing on that part, is to get that rewatchability and understand. But I will say is I wonder how this show kind of plays out. What secrets, how does it actually go into the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? I see how Falcon and Winter Soldier's purpose was in exploring and how that's going to tie in. WandaVision, I'm kind of getting a sense to how that could possibly go, especially with Wanda's character. Loki, I'm wondering how it will, because for a show like this and some of the things that do happen in here, I imagine that the ramifications will be pretty big, and I'm hoping they don't just put it on a nice bow at the end of the season and just small little tinkers to it. I do think this will be a must-watch show to understand a lot of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and for the most part, so far, if I'm basing it on like the first 2 episodes of Falcon Winter Soldier, the first 2 episodes of WandaVision, and the first 2 episodes of Loki, and just like judging it on those first 2, it's the best one so far. So with all that said, guys, I'm going to overall give like the first 2 episodes of Loki an A- for now. Again, I usually don't do that for episodes, but I'm going to do it for these. Look out for those spoiler reviews coming up soon. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, as well as comment down below your thoughts on Loki. How excited are you? I'm so excited to be discussing this, guys, with you every single week. Of course, make sure to head on over to Sam Chun Films on how to see films early. And of course, just a big thank you to you and a big thank you to my Patreon supporters, because without you, I would not be able to do this. So of course, until next time, stay classy and stay mischievous.